This is Common Courtesy with Sean Nicholas.
Sneaking the fucking, I'll be like.
But I'm like such a. I don't know.
Nikki Prue.
You own this company essentially, say. Let's just call it like a bread making company. And you have like people on the line.
Courtney Harbaugh.
Tell me that this like you just didn't know. Fucking lies. That's all fucking lies.
Angelique Young.
Full hopeless romantic. So I kind of like that whole misogynistic bullshit. I think it's a term fun. I like that.
And Stephen Gilbreth.
I've got a wall literally in my bedroom right now with like $500 worth of sex toys just hanging from it. I just bought $100.
This is Common Courtesy. Let's start the conversation.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Common Courtesy. Here we are again. I'm so excited for this episode because we have some guests coming up. We have a really good guest coming up, and I've just been excited all day. How are you guys?
Doing good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Let's do a round of check-ins to see how everyone's doing. Angelique, let's start with you. You look gorgeous. Yeah.
And my 15-minute Maybelline makeup. I love it. Yes.
She's born with it.
I'm feeling good. I had a really good day today, so I'm super excited for this, and I'm super excited to get into these conversations and topics.
Save. Nikki, how about you? How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm good. I'm ready to get into these topics. They're all pretty interesting to me. I think we can go some places with them. So I'm looking forward to it. I feel like I haven't been here in forever. I think it's only been a couple weeks, but I'm glad to be back.
Welcome back. And Courtney, how about you? How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I scrubbed every single tile in my kitchen floor, so that was fun.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah. Can we real quick talk about how you were like Courtney Harbaugh? I'm like, okay, let's get real serious real quick.
I noticed that too. I was like,
okay.
Start your brand with that.
I was really, you know what? I really made that like, maybe 30 minutes before we did the show or like before we got into the meeting.
No, it was really
and
good.
I heard that too. And I'm like, she's going to say something.
Well, it's not. And you followed with Angelique Young.
Yeah, it was like, oh, okay. I was like, I feel like I got the touch of gay. I was like, all right, I'll take it. I'm not mad.
I'm not mad. I think it's hilarious. And then you did that clip of me. I'm totally fine with it. It totally shows my true colors. Totally fine with it. Totally fine. My name is Courtney Harbaugh.
Well, thank you. Well, you're right. We have a lot of topics to get through, and we have a guest to interview. Power Infinity. Yes, I can't wait. But first, we're going to be talking about Maryanne Trump's the audio tapes that have been released by the Washington Post. I cannot wait to get to that one. We have a couple of advice things to come up, and then we're going to debate mail-in voting. But first, let's get to Power Infinity, and I have prepared a little clip for her. Let's watch that real fast.
Lead me your way, so I'll go, but I know I'll think of you every step of the way.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if Trump lost Florida, and after he finished saying that voting by mail is so wonderful because he feels assured that Florida will do such a perfect job. Remember that if you lose Florida, bitch, we did a perfect job.
And I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to our panel, Power Infinity.
Hola.
Where do we get one of those fans? I need one.
I know. It was amazing.
A friend gave it to me. Everything for the entrance.
Yes.
Just want to say good evening, Walter, really fast. And hello, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Walter.
Happy belated birthday, Michelle.
Yes.
Happy belated birthday. Hi, Power. How are you tonight?
Hey, girls.
Hi.
and children out there in virtuality land.
You know, Power, I've been a fan of yours, especially of your show. It's Happening Out Live. Can you tell us a little bit? How did you guys come up with that idea? Like, how did that start?
I don't know how they came up with the idea. I think it's two men in a bar, probably drunk boots, came up with it. But I know that we have been in September of this year, we're celebrating 2 years. We started in September of 2018, and I was contacted by the producers of It's Happening Out because of my outspoken, petty, very scandalous ways on social media. And it pays to be your authentic self, even if it's a bitch. And they liked what they saw, and they contacted me and asked me to be a part of this new idea, this panel. It was kind of like The View, but a gay version of The View. And we put together somebody from the leather scene. We put together some conservatives, the drag queen, myself. And it kind of morphed into what it is now, where we have a lesbian, we have trans individuals, we have myself. We had 3 Republicans. Unfortunately, one of them passed away, and the other 2 were idiots, so we had to let them go.
Oh, no.
But we have been. We're going to be celebrating our 2-year anniversary in September, and it's been a really wonderful and wild ride. It's part of the Happening Out network, and Happening Out has 3 other shows under its belt. My show, it's Happening Out. Q News Tonight, which is a nightly news show that is dedicated to the gay community. And also my new show, Gay Town Hall, which airs on Thursday nights at 8:00. So it's really a great network to be associated with, and we really deal with and address a lot of the issues that impact our community.
I agree. I love the show, and Gay Town Hall too, because I gotten into that too, and I've watched the first episode. Yeesh. It got a little crazy. Got a little crazy. Let's go to Angelique. Angelique, I know you guys know each other.
Okay, so I mean, I'll throw this first because I'm up first. So I know that you do a lot of talk shows, and you're such a poignant entertainer in the community, working with things from Tampa Bay Pride all the way through to local events. But you currently have a new project going on. I'd like it if you take just a moment and tell us about it, please, and thank you.
My new project actually is with you. Very, very proud to be working with Angelique on this. It is Culture Kingdom. Culture Kingdom is a group of friends. It was actually the brainchild of Ripley, and it is a organization of us that have come together to really focus on and highlight Black entertainers, Black performers. And we are focused on really spotlighting them, and not just giving the audience a show, but also talking to these performers, engaging with them, interviewing them, getting to know their stories, getting to know their experiences, getting to know their journey, their pains, their struggles, and what life is as a Black artist, as a Black performer in the LGBTQ community, because that in and of itself can have its own struggles and its own hardships. And this idea was born from this newly refocused Black Lives Matter movement. It was a great idea. Ripley happens to be, he is white, or certainly non-Black, but I think that to his credit, he really shows, he should be an inspiration to many, because he really shows what our allies can do if they use their white privilege to really empower the Black community. So we have a wonderful cast and crew: myself, Angelique Young, Morgan Lachey, the photographer,
Yes.
Graphics by Victoria Alvarez, videography by Joshua Vasquez. We have Kyle X Kilgore, the amazing fashion designer who is lending us his studio. We're partnering with the Bricks, and our idea is every 2 months to bring you, the audience, a virtual show, interviews, and I will be hosting it from the headquarters here at the power station, and my my cohort Angelique will be on location at the Bricks, where we will have a viewing party live. So it's just going to be an amazing time, and hopefully it's going to be educational, entertaining, and informative as well.
I'm excited. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And for the alcoholics involved, there are specialty cocktails made specifically for the night. We have someone coming in and making them specifically to cater towards the event, and things that are going on, pop culture references, and also things that are referenced to the times and what we're dealing with. So it's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Alcohol on a good show always works.
Yeah.
And then Courtney, let's go to you. We're doing an interview, sweetie.
Kid in the back of the class. Legit though, like I've only seen like little snippets of like what you guys are doing, but I'm really kind of naive to all of this.
It's okay.
Well, that affords us a new opportunity for a brand new audience member. So we definitely look forward to you tuning in and seeing what it's all about.
Absolutely, I hope to.
Yeah. So for everybody out there, it is Saturday, September 5th. We broadcast at 7 p.m. So
have a little. This is right.
Yeah,
our right there. Mm-hmm. All right, Nikki, let's go to you, Nikki. If you had a question for Power, what would you ask her?
I'm kind of in the same boat with Courtney, where, this is all very new and just, it's all super exciting, and I love learning more about it. I guess as far as questions go, it sounds like you've really accomplished a lot, and you've done a lot of things that are really positive, and you're working towards things that are really positive. So what would be, and if you haven't already, what would be like your main, what's something that you wish that you could ultimately do? Like, just, given all your exposure now, and just stepping stones and moving forward with so many fun projects, like what is it? Is there something that, would be like at least one of the pinnacles, or like, you know what I mean?
Well, two things. Artistically speaking, I would love to. I'm a DJ, I'm a promoter, and I'm a performer. So I've done or do a lot in our club industry. I mean, I've toured the world. I'm a circuit performer. But one thing I think I would like to do that I really haven't tackled that much is I would like to do a movie. I think I would love to be cast in a movie, and I would love to take on a role. That's a challenge for me. I one time did a play, and I found that performing on stage or recording, doing music, DJing, all that is so easy for me. When I'm performing, it is kind of acting, because you are enveloping and encompassing your role on the stage as a performer. But acting, it's not the same thing. It takes a lot more concentration. It takes a lot more focus, and it's something that I love, but it was definitely a bigger challenge. And that was on a live stage. So I would love to probably explore more acting and do some movie roles. That's something I would love to do. The other thing is I would love to continue to grow and cultivate our Tampa performance scene. I throw a event. It is Tampa's longest running and most popular talent competition. Is called Queen of the Night, Power Infinity's Queen of the Night. And this year would have made 8 years. Would have made 8 years.
Wow. A long time.
Angelique, weren't you deemed a legend this year?
I was deemed an actual legend, and I'm the first ever King of Queens, and I also was a winner of the actual Queen of the Night as well. So
yes, Angelique won Queen of the Night. Angelique was the first winner of King of Queens, which is once a year. All the past winners get together and they compete to see who has that ultimate title of the King of the Queens. It's not specific to gender, really. It's not really about the gender, but just the label King of Queens. Angelique was our first King of Queens winner, and I think that we have really started a community. It's not just an event; it's a community that really helps to empower, teach, and cultivate talent in our Tampa scene. And I would like to continue to see that grow. And if anything was to happen to me, God forbid, he calls me home, I want that to continue to grow even after I'm gone.
An amazing answer. That's
Same. And you know what, like film and like I can see you in film and theater, because I'm an actor, and honestly, for me doing drag, it was a different acting comes so easy to me, but then drag and all the makeup and stuff, that was a challenge. Like,
really?
What's the lace front? Yes. I mean, what's a lace front? What is that? I'm so masculine. I don't know if you noticed, but But no, I mean, it's so interesting to hear you say that. I mean, it's true. Like different forms of art I think it's awesome that we get into it, but we also appreciate the challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, guys. So let's move on to our next topic because I really want to get into this. I know we all know who President Trump is, right? He's got a big family, but his niece, Mary Trump, recently wrote a book entitled Too Much and Never Enough: How My Family Created the World's Most Dangerous Man. And last week, the Washington Post just leaked some audio tapes that kind of corroborated the story that she told in this book. She alleges that the president cheated to get into Wharton Business School at the University of Pennsylvania, and some more stuff. But you know what? I can just give you all this information, but why don't you just take a little listen?
Tweet and the lying. Oh my God, I'm talking too freely, but the change of stories, the lack of preparation, the lying, the holy. But he's appealing to the base, what they're doing with the kids at the border. And Donald's out for Donald, period.
Okay, that was a short little snippet because, like I said, there was 15 hours of recorded conversation between Mary Trump and her aunt, Maryanne Trump Barry. I just want to go to the panel, and I'm going to Power first because I know how she feels.
Well, child, I didn't need to hear no recording to believe everything that Mary Trump had to say. I mean, for me to believe anything bad about Trump, all I need to hear is him deny it. And if he denies something, I know that he's lying. If he says it's one way, I know it's the other. But I mean, it's no secret that the man is an idiot. This is the same man who looked up into the sun after they told him not to look at a full eclipse. This is the same dingbat, who believes that you can wipe out COVID by disinfecting yourself internally. So, I mean, it makes sense that he wouldn't have been smart enough to get into a college on his own. We already know that he is corrupt and he is a reptile of ill repute. So I didn't need to hear that recording to corroborate shit. I already knew that he's a dingbat idiot, and I was on board with everything Mary Trump said, whether I had this recording or not.
Hello, I'm going to go to Angelique next. Angelique, how did you react to hearing just a little bit of that? Like, do you think this actually? Because I think character matters. And she also goes on to say that he has no principles. He can't be trusted. How do you feel?
There was a couple of things that she said in the interview. The thing that points out to me right now that's like correlated with everything that's going on in the news right now is, a lot of celebrities just paid, you know, or secretly paid for their kids to get into colleges or select colleges and stuff like that. And then we have the president, who is the president of the United States. And we come to find out in this recording that he actually had paid someone to take his SATs to get him the score that he had. So the reality is that here we are sending celebrities to jail and their parents and all kinds of things. You know, kids are getting their alumniship revoked and all kinds of disciplinary actions for their degrees and things like that, or their time spent in school. And the president got into his college with false SAT scores. So, I mean, really, I mean, and it comes down to, you know, I think it's Judge Trump Barry and, you know, the president who have to answer for this, because they're the ones responsible in, you know, in what she's saying. At least that's who she's pointing out to, saying is responsible for that portion.
Courtney, let's go to you. How did you react, and what do you think about this?
Hey, I have notes.
I love it. I love it.
I have notes. Okay. I'm going to start with that clip that we heard. It talks about kids at the border and whatnot. Actually, Michelle Obama was fact-checked for that. Obama started that, not Trump. So I'm just going to throw that out there. That was not Trump. And as far as separating people from the border, there was thousands of kids who were separated from the adults that they were with because they were being sex trafficked. So there's a whole nother issue that we touched on a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And then it talks about further into there, it talks about how he went to a movie instead of being at the hospital and going to a funeral or being at the hospital with whoever it was that died. But the thing is that you are putting somebody down for how they react to grief. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. In the 10 years that I have known my husband, I've seen him cry like a couple of times. Whatever. Like, that just is what it is. You cannot tell somebody how they want to grieve. And if they grieve by just pretending like it doesn't happen, that's their own prerogative. You don't have to fucking like it, but that's how they do it. I don't like it. I don't like that my husband just kind of just shuts down and just nothing, because I'm very emotional. But I can't dog him for that. I can't dog him for not wanting to wallow in pity the way that I do. That's just how he is. The military is like that. And it goes on to say how that's how he was raised, and his grandfather or great grandfather or some shit like that, talking about how like
are you talking about the book or the recording?
I'm talking about the recording. And okay. This is in the book also. This was in the recording and in the book also. But it talks that he was raised a certain way, that men are not supposed to show emotion. It was unmanly and whatnot. And like, as a very young person, when you're raised that way, it's very hard to come out of that. Like, we talk about how like our parenting styles, like I show very similar, almost identical parenting styles to the ones that I was raised with. And that might not always be great, but that's just kind of like how you're raised. And then it goes, so also this came out after she was being sued, and she was being sued because she was talking about something that was in like a non-disclosure agreement, because she was cut out of the will. So she was sour about that, which makes me think, okay, so why would you bring this up now? Not when he was in power, not when he had like, well, he is in power now, but he has like built his fame and was on The Apprentice and this, that, and the other. What about the first election when he was going for president? You're just not going to say anything then? Like, this has been 4 years and you're just now coming out with it now. Why wait so long? If he's been in the spotlight for this long, why are you going to not say anything now? And also, nobody else in his family has said anything remotely close to any of this. A lot of them has said that, yeah, no, she's just fucking batshit. Like, that's just how she is. She's bitter. She's sour about being cut out of the will. And then also, who records another family member for 15 hours and hounds them for information about one person? Like, who does that? That's like, I would never even dream about that. And I've got family fucking issues. I would never dream about recording somebody trying to get dirt on my uncle. Dude, no. And then the way that Trump responded wasn't that he denied it and he didn't anything. He basically, all he said was, every day it's something else. Who cares? Is what it is. But Sean, I'm going to call you out on this. And it's talking about, where's the proof of all of this? You're saying that he faked his SATs, he paid somebody. Where's the proof? The proof is in the pudding, right? Sean, you were the first one to say that. I want to see the proof. You said that about Ellen. You said that about the sex trafficking of the kids. Where's the proof? You can't.
Well, I can answer that because
I want the proof, but then blindly agree to somebody who's just fallen off a rocker.
All right, can I answer that first? Because honestly, I listened to a lot of the video, and she does not sound like someone who is happy, who is not there. She sounds lucid.
She doesn't sound like Joe Biden at all.
Well, wait, let me just answer the question. She sounds lucid as fuck. So I mean, that's just for me. Like the proof, the evidence for me is like when you have a family member, your older sister, she even go on to say that she did his homework. I can believe it because if you look at the proof is in the pudding. Well, he has a lot of businesses that closed down as well. Like a lot. How do you bankrupt a casino and then also not paying people? I mean, for me, this audio recording is telling about someone's character because your character is important because it also answers how you're going to make decisions and if you're going to make those decisions for yourself or for the country. And that's just all I got out of the whole thing. But just to answer that, the evidence for that is just like, come on, this is like someone who knew him for years. Now with the whole Pizzagate thing, we don't have any evidence of a recording, like of a witness seeing this person grow up. But with Maryanne Trump, his older sister, coming out with all these allegations, I mean, well, not allegations, basically her experience. And it also matches with the book that Mary Trump wrote because everyone's like, where's the proof? Where did she get all this information? Well, these 15 hours of recording. And she also recorded this because I don't know, like the Trump family is all money, you know, we don't know how that is, but it sounds like it's some type of like, you know, royal, like, you know, someone's gonna get usurped or something like that. You know, it sounds crazy to me. I don't have that type of money in my family. But she recorded it to protect herself from litigation because she knew that someone's going to come after her and say that these are all lies. I would have done the same thing. And a lot of books that are written, like Ronan Farrow, when he wrote the book about Harvey Weinstein, he had a lot of recordings as well. I mean, that's clear evidence to me. But let's go to Nikki first, and then we can debate about that later. Nikki, how did you react?
I just think that if someone's sister is willing to come forward and say, you know, what she said, and I mean, she was angry about it, but it was all very well articulated. It was very well documented. And it just doesn't seem like she has any reason to lie. I know that she was deceived in the amount of the inheritance she was supposed to get due to the amount of the total inheritance. But I strongly doubt, one, that she needs it, or two, that she is thinking that by doing this, she's going to get what's owed to her. Long story short, I just don't think she has anything. She has what can she gain really by lying to this extent? I just don't see it. I don't see it for a complete fabrication at all. I just, and I mean, with just, there's been so many behaviors and uncouth things that our president has done. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just like, how long are we all willing to look past it?
Right. All right. All right. So we all kind of does anyone have a rebuttal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So first of all, I would like to push back on what Courtney. I'm all in the screen. Can you put me back in the Yeah, so I could see everybody. First of all, I'd like to push back on what Courtney had said. Let's go back to the immigration thing, okay? This is something that the Trump administration keeps on pounding out, and I would like to fact check this in real time. Obama started the immigration policy where he separated. Well, let's fact check that. Trump says that he inherited separation and that he changed the plan and he brought people together. But the facts don't align with that. Separation under Obama was rare. Separation under Trump was systematic. Let me repeat that. That's the difference. Separation under Obama was rare. Separation under Trump was systematic. His former special agent in Homeland Department of Homeland just came out and said that he was actually scared. He quit, and that he's going to be voting for Biden because working for Trump. Do you guys remember this? He admitted that Trump, if he had his way, had they not pushed back, had his own people not pushed back, he wanted to even go further when it came from ripping kids away from their parents. He wanted it to be hardcore policy, and had people not pushed back on him in his own administration, we would have seen even worse than what we saw. Now, generally, a child and an adult who are together at the border can be separated when the border officials cannot establish, for example, the conditions of relationship, when they believe that the custodian may be a threat to the child, or where the custodian is, for example, being prosecuted. But immigration experts have already said, that as that family separation was relatively rare under Obama, and in past administrations, they did not happen nearly on the scale that they did under the Trump administration. And keep in mind that when Trump started this, his own family, his daughters, his wife, his own family pushed back on this. And the reason that he scaled back and he stopped was because he got so much backlash. This shit was such bumfuckery that even Trump himself had to stop. So that's the first thing. Second, I believe everything that Mary Trump says, not just because she said it, and truth in fact, she did have those recordings to back up her story, but not just because she said it, it's just because when you look at his pattern of lying, when you look at his pattern of dishonesty, you cannot trust, if it comes down to him or somebody else, based on his track record, you can't trust anything he has to say. Not a word he has to say. If Trump told me that a hurricane was coming and I saw it coming, I wouldn't believe my own two eyes. So it's just not this one thing. It's just not the recordings. You just take the whole breadth of Trump and his resume of deceit. And when you look at that, you then make your choice. Now, Courtney might respectfully disagree because Courtney, I understand that Courtney believes that he's probably an honest Joe. We'll have to agree to disagree on that. But I see it for Mary Trump.
So if I can.
Courtney, yeah.
So I'm not, okay, so you think that I think that, okay, no, I'm actually not going to say that because I'm not going to put words in your mouth. So do I think that he is honest as all get out? Absolutely not. I don't think that anybody is as honest as they claim to be. Set aside like baby Mother Teresa, but I never knew her, so I can't. Really don't fucking know. Everybody can lie. Everybody, like, for fuck's sake, I go out into the world and I put on a whole new fucking face than what I do at home. Totally, like, that's just kind of what we do. I'm not going to judge you for that. I don't give a shit. My family, you could record my family for 15 hours and they will tell you some dumbass fucking shit about me just because of how they feel, because of one thing that I said and it turned them sour. Honestly, I don't fucking care. I could say the same thing about them, but I won't because I don't feel like it's fair. But that's just my morals. I'm not going to do that because everybody goes through their own shit. But going back to that, though, what I said, Sean, was that you said the same thing about Ellen. There was hundreds of people who are saying, Ellen did this, Ellen did this, Ellen did this, Ellen did this. Her people did this, her people did that, her people did this. There's so much shit out there about this. And there's so much evidence about multiple shit that we have talked about. But you've been very, very slow to say, okay, yeah, I believe that because you want the proof. And the one thing that irritates me is that, like, no, I don't think that Trump is the end all be all to all the problems in the world. No, that is not what I feel. Do I feel like he is a bit misogynistic or he is misogynistic? Absolutely. Do I feel like that is a characteristic of a lot of men of his age, older, like between like 30s and like dead? Yes, I do. They are incredibly misogynistic. I can name 100 fucking people right now that I know personally who are like that. I have to
It shouldn't make it okay for them to.
It doesn't make it okay. It doesn't. It absolutely does not make it okay. But the difference is that we live in a world to where we can be accepting. Like this is our culture that we live in.
But not of our president when he
right,
has
we don't have to accept.
No. I feel blessed to live in a culture right now to where we are accepting of people and that we're not raising our kids to be this way. And we weren't really technically, most of us weren't raised to be, and when I say we, I mean mostly men, raised to be misogynistic. They weren't. My dad's not, Kyle's not. Like the men that I know in my life that are like I don't know, average age, they're not like that. And for whatever reason, and I cannot tell you why, because I literally was not a twinkle in my dad's eye at that time. I don't know why they were raised that way. It was the culture that they were back then. And it's not something that I'm going to embrace. And it's not something that I'm going to say is okay. And the way that they are does not make it okay. But at some point you have to have some sort of understanding that like, okay, like back then people were just like, I don't know, they had something loose in their heads. I mean, you can go back to like the slavery days. People thought that was okay. We don't think it's okay now. You go back to
even still back in slavery days, back in slavery, I'm going to cut you off. Sorry. But back in slavery days, you know, there were people that didn't agree with it either. And even in the civil rights, there are people that didn't agree with it either. My thing is, we're going to talk about Ellen. There's nobody with a recording that's leaked to the media that said that she's done, you know, all this like Pizzagate bullshit. I mean, am I slow to believe it? Perhaps because I mean, like I said, I'm slow to believe it because I need more. Because to say that about somebody, if you're wrong, it's disgusting. Because there have been people that have said that about their husband, that he's a pedophile and they touched my child, and now the husband's, you know, doing all this bullshit. But like with this whole Trump thing, like your own sister's saying the world that he can't be trusted. He cheated on his exams. That is proof enough for me that he did this. Who else would know this? Your family. And like I said, Mary Trump did this only to back her book up, which is something that I do to back my sources. Where did you get this source? This from the family, because Trump is not going to tell the truth. He never talks about Fordham. He only talks about, you know, going to Warden, whatever, whatnot. But we got to move on. Nikki was saying something, and after that, we got to move on if that's okay with everyone. Yeah.
I think I made my last point. I lost it in the
in the heat, girl. It was getting there.
Real quick, I just wanted to address something that I heard really quickly. You said, why wait? I mean, the reality in why waiting comes in the fact that she's under litigation and she had the NDA. So the number one reason for her to wait was until she had nothing left to lose. At this point, speaking and getting all this information, she has nothing left to lose. Her proof comes in those 15 hours of conversations. It was not one person. It's multiple family members over multiple time. It was not one full sit down of a day of harassment. It's literally her having these conversations and these people pouring their hearts out to her as family members. They're having a conversation, and an unfortunate twist of events, they trusted her and they decided to have this and speak about this openly with her. And she even says in the recording, oh my God, I'm speaking too openly about this, but meaning she says she knows what she's doing, but she has to get this out of her head because she felt so strongly about it. This woman was so passionate about that. She got herself worked up in the conversation, had to calm herself down, and still hit the ground running. At that point in time in that conversation, in that 30-second clip, that was enough for me to know that that woman really knew what she was talking about and fully understood what she was saying. So much, in fact, that she clearly stated, I know what the fuck I'm talking about, and I know that I shouldn't be talking about this, but I need you to hear. And this is the timing on this. I would need to see a timeline to see if this was during the writing of the book or after the writing of the book. But the releasing of these tapes is literally because she's like, okay, well, y'all are gonna fuck me. You took me out the will. Okay, that's motive to now release everything because I have nothing left to lose. I'm not saying that that there probably isn't a little he said, she said, hearsay. But when you have a testimony from someone, and the funny thing about it is you can't release it and it's inadmissible if the person didn't know they were being recorded. So at some point in time, she had to say to everybody, I need you to know that I have a recording. And at that point in time, if the person decides to fight it and says, you can't use that, I didn't know, then it's no longer admissible in court. If it goes to court, if it's something. But because this is in court and she don't got shit to lose, she can leak the tapes however she chooses. So this is a full fuck you to the president. And he can't do shit about it. He can't say nothing about it because there's no legal standings. And if she broke the NDA, then he truly has nothing to hold her. Because if she's going to pay for it, she's going to pay for it. And then let me remind everybody that this woman is a fucking judge, a retired judge. She ain't stupid. So she knew exactly what she was doing when she went into the room of the recording. She knew exactly what she was doing when she stood up for it. And that's it. And in reference to the Ellen thing, Ellen never had anyone talk on her. The problem was with the producers. The reason why we didn't speak up against Ellen was because nobody was saying Ellen is a bitch, Ellen is nasty, Ellen does this. There was hearsay, but nobody went to an interview as an eyewitness and said, Ellen personally harassed me. Ellen personally talked shit on me. Ellen personally made me feel bad. It was always the producers or the other workers in the employee environment that made these people feel bad. We went through tons of these accusations from all of these employees, previous employees and current. So people who are willing to risk their job as it stands to put these producers out of work. So in that sense, yes, I can't say anything about Ellen, although I'm not as in love. The enchantment is broken for me. But until I see for, sure that, she had no regard to it, didn't know nothing, truly was in the dark about it, I will keep my distance. I ain't watching the show no more, I'll be honest. But
Same.
But I have, I have my reservations about it because I want to know more. But in this case, girl. And then we have people from the freaking Apprentice. You brought that up. There's contestants who came forward during that time while he was running the show that talked about how horrible of a person he was. Female contestants who talked about his ability to talk on them, touch them inappropriately, conversations that were had. There was also
Miss America, Miss Teen USA.
And it's just constant throughout before he was ever president. So I don't need anybody to tell me if that's right or wrong. I have tons and tons of testimonies, real testimonies, people who sat up and risked their titles, their jobs, everything to say this happened to me. And that's the same thing when you talk about the victims in the cages and the people, and we talk about sex trafficking. Why don't they speak up? They don't speak up because they fear for their lives. They wake up and they think something's going to happen to them. It's the same thing when you're in a family of powerful people. That bitch could have they could have made her disappear if they really wanted to before she ever got a chance to say something. The only reason why she didn't have an accident is because the bitch said everything already. Killing her now don't stop the fact that the word out there makes them look more guilty. It's the same thing we learn in everything, right? I'm just saying I needed a laugh. I needed to get a little heavy. New York to bring it back. But seriously, honestly, there's just a lot of things. And once again, it's a situation that we're going to need more information. But I look forward to reading this one. I'm going to go get the book because I want to know.
Real quick, I say this about him.
Really quick.
Everybody, that if you fucked up, you should be held accountable for your actions the way that everybody else should. And I am fine with that. I'm not going to say that he's innocent on everything. I absolutely will not say that. If you are guilty, you should be held accountable. Right. Period. Hands down, point blank. The truth of the matter is that rich people and politicians, they're almost never fucking held accountable. And that's the issue. And I feel like it should be more of what are the actual facts and looking into it instead of so quick jumping on whatever rhetoric that whoever is putting out. Take a step back from it, look at it, listen to it, think about it, do some more research, and instead of jumping on the I hate Trump train or I hate Biden train or I hate Pelosi or Clinton or whoever the fuck it is that you hate today, jump off of that train, take a step back, remove yourself from the fucking situation, your political standing, and think about what the truth actually is.
I can't do that. I'm a black gay man. I'm a double marginalized citizen. So I can't remove myself from hating Trump. Politics for me is not political anymore. It's personal. But let's move on.
Let's move on. All right. So I was reading BuzzFeed earlier, and legit, this woman writes in. I just want to know your opinion because we've all been there, right? Because usually you'll hear something about a friend cheating on a mutual friend of yours, and you're like, oh shit, should I say something? Well, this was a little bit different. This woman found out that her father was cheating on her stepmother, and she was wondering, should she tell the stepmother, or she should confront her father about it. But she has a fear as well. She's saying that she fears that her father is going to say that she's trying to ruin her marriage, or the stepmother's just not going to believe her. So she seems to be in a pickle. What would you do? What should she do? Should she tell the father or the mother? Should she shut her mouth? I'm going to start with Nikki first. Nikki, what do you think she should do?
How did I know you were going to just start with that? I was like, just looking at your eyes. All right. Honestly, my opinion has changed a couple of times since reading this, but I think she should just leave it alone. And it's her father's second marriage. And she states in the letter that her dad already cheated on her mom. What are you going to do? Then just leave it to them. Why don't you just leave them to, how old are you? Like, how old are you right now living at home with your dad and your stepmom if he's on his second marriage and you are pretty articulate? So you sound like you're at least in your 20s. So my advice would be like, go get an apartment and maybe test out some dating sites, because I don't really understand. Like, I get it. That sucks. But like, she already stated she doesn't like her stepmom. Her dad's a serial cheater. I don't even want to know like what the dynamic between those two is. Like, then just, okay. Is he hurting her? No. Is he just sleep? Okay. Yeah, he shouldn't be doing that, but it's also none of your business. You shouldn't have been reading a gross text message over his shoulder.
Power.
So just let it go and get a second job and move out. Your stepmom's sick of your shit too.
Power. Power. What would you tell this girl? What would you do?
Well, I mean, it really would depend on the relationship and the dynamic she has with the stepmom. I mean, if it was somebody that I was close to and that I loved, say it was my real mom, I would absolutely tell her. But that being the case, if she doesn't really have a real rapport with her stepmom, she doesn't have a good relationship with her stepmom, I really think that should be taken into consideration. I mean, what is the point of telling her if you really don't care?
Exactly.
You know, like if you really don't give a damn one way or another because you don't see this bitch, why should you? Why should you tell? What's the point of telling her? Like, what is the point? And if you're closer to your father, then you know, why don't you just ride or die with him? I mean, I hate to sound like I'm like, you know, this stereotypical snitches get stitches, you know, type of black person. But in this case, I wouldn't snitch. No, I wouldn't snitch.
Because there's what's to be gained on any side.
Now, I will say, if I was close to her, if our relationship,
but she's like, I don't like her.
Like if our relationship was such that, you know, she was a friend and she was somebody that trusted me and I trusted and loved her, I would absolutely tell her. Absolutely. Yes. But if I can't really be bothered with that hoe, I mean, I couldn't be bothered with telling her either.
Just, yeah, I don't get it.
Angelique, can we go to you next? Angelique.
No, okay. So like honestly, it all depends on the relationship. So this is her biological father that she's dealing with, and it's her stepmother. So
right.
Said she has a history of the biological father cheating. So in my head, I kind of see it as this kind of thing where you can either just be like, yo, dad, wow, what the fuck are you doing? What's up? Like, what's going on? I would be honest. I would go straight to the person like, what's up? Like, you need to tell me what's going on. I'm not going to my step-parent because if I don't have a good relationship with them, then I'm not going to them. Like my stepmom, I wouldn't tell that bitch nothing. I wouldn't even blow the smoke in her direction. I would go to my dad and be like, yo, you're fucking around. What are you doing? Go get the divorce so that I don't have to deal with the alimony and bullshit. I don't need her cutting into my will. I don't need her cutting into none of that. Like I need to end that right now. Go end one of them. One of these bitches gotta go. You can't have her. Like that's just how I feel. But you know, given the circumstance of like, you know, for some reason I guess as a girl, she must feel some kind of compassion towards her stepmom, just on the strength of the cheating being wrong morally, I guess, is the compass we're dealing with here. So if that's the case, then once again, you have to decide who you want to kind of bat for, Or you can pick option number C, like Nicole said, and just leave that shit alone, let them burn on their own. Me personally,
I don't know. She's like it's mom number 2, and he won't stop cheating. I don't know what to do.
I'd be like, look, you're a fucking chronological cheater. You do it all the time or whatever. I just need you to send me a check so they shut. I'm gonna go live over here.
Take me to Olive Garden next week, and
I ain't saying that. I'll keep you a secret if that's the case. If we're gonna do it that way, but that's just how I feel. I was like, I personally, from my personal experience, I don't really fuck with my stepmom, so I would have been like, yo, dad, stop cheating, or fuck that hoe. Let me see pictures. Can I meet her? Like I'm one of those kids. I'm like, when I ride for my parent, I ride for my parent. It's like that.
Hey, okay, Courtney, how do you feel? What should this girl do? Because I don't know if you're reading the comments in our comment section right now. I think we should answer that instead. Well, I am. And I think we should answer that instead. But
that's so frustrating. I only get like 20% of the comments.
Oh, I'm seeing all of them.
Oh yeah, it's been going.
I'm seeing all of them too.
Yeah. So Courtney, what would you tell this girl before we move on?
So for me, I would say definitely say something to your dad, address the issues, because I mean, girls with daddy issues never go down the right path. But also like, I mean, you gotta empathize with her a little bit, because like woman to woman, like, bitch, I would want to know. Right. But I won't go straight to her. I could be like, Dad, yo, like, fucking get your head out of your 5th point of contact, get it together, either divorce her, like what Angelique said, either divorce her and marry the new one, or just fucking cut your ties and be single for a while and keep your dick in your pants. But like for me, like, I can't, like, I would feel bad. It'd be like, I don't want to be that person that's like, oh, they know that my husband's cheating on me, but nobody's gonna tell me. Man, dude, I'd be so fucking fired up. Fucking mad. That is so wrong for women to do that to women, regardless of how old she is. Bitch, you don't want to be in that position where your boyfriend's cheating on you with your best friend. Happened, been there, bought the fucking t-shirt. Like, you don't want that. Like, I would ask the dad. I'd be like, listen, Dad, what the fuck do you want? Because you were literally giving me daddy issues, and I'm gonna be on a fucking pole with 3 different baby daddies if you don't get your shit together. Raise a fucking good woman, dumbass. That's me. Raise a fucking good woman. Be a better fucking man. That's what I would straight up confront his ass. I'd be like, you get this shit together.
Yeah. I'm right with you, Courtney, because honestly, I don't like liars and phonies. People lie too much, and they lie about the wrong things. Lie about your age, but don't lie about who you fucking, my nigga. Because like for me, I mean, because I would put myself in the same. Sorry.
Do not lie about your age.
That was a little bit hard. Well, I mean, I can lie about my age because, like, shit.
I'm sorry.
Well, I look young, but anyways, no, I'm just saying, like, when it's sex involved, like, there's so much that can happen. I watch Killer Woman, and I see women kill men over like fucking another woman. I just don't think that. I think she should talk to her father about it, and she should talk to her stepmom. Tell her. I would, because like, honestly, they are too old to be doing this shit. If you want to be a bachelor, like Courtney said, be a bachelor, but don't be wasting my time, because I've been cheated on. And let me tell you, like, it's just not a fun feeling. Let me take my shoes off because I'm mad. Because it's just because you give someone your trust, you know, and you let them, you know, into your life, and they're cheating on you. So I would definitely talk to my father, because I would put myself in the situation, because I just cannot let that happen to someone else.
No, I get it. And normally I would too. And like Kurt said, if it was my mother, like my actual mother, fucking hell yes, I would tell her, and I would confront him. But there comes a point in your life where, what are you going to do? What is talking to him? Dad, you're cheating on your wife. I saw you. Are you going to stop? And he's going to be like, yeah. Absolutely. Like, and you can tell her, but who knows what the story is? It's hard.
Call his ass out. Call his ass out. Call him out.
Yeah, call him out, but don't expect like everything to be fixed.
Right. That part.
Well, no, it's not her. It's not her job to fix it.
It's not her job to really like be involved.
Call his ass out. Like, absolutely call his ass out. Make yourself a fucking power play here. Like, give yourself some fucking power. and say, call his ass out.
If I didn't give a damn about her, I wouldn't give a damn about the situation. Period.
On that part,
this is what Howard said when he came on. My petty ass. You know, my petty ass going to my petty ass going to.
We only have like a few more minutes, but let's jump in this last topic before we go, because I like this question, Courtney, that you put. I mean, not Courtney, Angelique, that you posed earlier. So let's get into this one. How would you react if individuals who are close to you and or your significant other approach you in an inappropriate way? Let's say, like, you know, a friend of mine, like I'm on a date with my boyfriend, and one of my best friends that, you know, I used to perform in drag with, let's say Lilith Black. Let's say Lily wants to flirt with my boyfriend, like something like that. Oh, how should you react? And I want to start with Courtney, if that's okay. Courtney, how do you react?
I'm gonna go off of my last statement, and you know what my petty ass gonna do?
Take my earrings off.
Like legit though, I've been in that situation. Like I said, my best friend did actually sleep with my boyfriend at the time. Yes. Yes.
Bitch, do you need me? Do you need me?
Bitch, I was 16.
Oh.
I don't need you no more. That was well over 10 years ago. No, I mean, so being the person who is being flirted with, definitely stand your ground and be like, yo, homie. No. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why would you be flirting with me? Like, we're friends. We're all friends. Like, we all, you know, you're like, he gonna find out, stupid. Like, how stupid are you? He gonna find out. To be the person that's being, okay, so how would it be? So like opposite, to be the person watching that, again, my petty ass, I'm gonna stick you in a fucking trash can. I'm gonna roll you down a goddamn mountain. That's what I'm gonna do. Into a den of wolves, bitch.
Oh my.
Like, don't like what? Like, why would you do that? Why would you try to come between like something that's good? Why would you try to do that? Especially like, so like somebody like a stranger at a bar, bitch, fuck off. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, I don't know you from Adam. I don't care. But somebody who has a personal tie to you and your significant other.
Yeah, that shit's whack.
We done. Like, my ass gonna be sending you to the lion's den. We're done. Dead ass.
Yeah.
We're done.
Power, how would you react? Let me ask you.
I don't feel as passionate as Courtney on this. You know, because I feel like I feel, and here's why. If somebody approaches my husband and they know that he is with me, then to me, I feel that is a sign of disrespect to me. I'm not insecure about if they're going to get my husband. I know that's not going to happen. It's what it is it's a sign of disrespect to me, but they're still going to get shut down by my husband. So I would probably be more upset if they approach him. If they approach me, however, yes, it's disrespectful to him, but I know where I stand. And the fact that I would certainly let them know that it's just not going to happen. And unless it's something that is consistent, like I've let you know it's not going to happen, and then you have ignored that and you continue, I can continue on with the friendship because, you know, I ain't mad that, I can understand that, my milkshake's right and it's going to bring some of the children to the yard. So, I understand that, I give a little bit of a pass when the children want to get some. And I will politely decline. But if it's something that is like, all right, I've already told you once, twice, and thrice, and you are continuing. Now you're not just disrespecting my husband, you're disrespecting me and my husband. You're basically telling me that it's not your will be done, it's mine. And that I can't deal with. So it's not really the anger, the frustration for me is not so much that like it's not an insecurity thing, like, oh, I think it's a threat to my marriage. It's more of you're kind of disrespecting the fact that you know what's going on, and yet you are deciding that despite that, you're going to have your way. And that I'm not going to put up with.
Nikki, let me go to you real fast.
Like, I think I agree. Like, a big part of both Courtney and Power, like it's a big disrespect thing. I think that's really what it is. If it's somebody who's close to you, like Courtney said, if it's somebody in a bar, like somebody out while you're out and about, like they don't mean anything. They don't know anything. But if it's somebody who's close to you and that's happening and it's happened more than once and it keeps happening, it's not anything that I would ever worry about or my boyfriend would have to worry about or on either side. But it becomes more of it is a disrespect thing. And it's, why would you take me for granted in that way and think that I was just going to throw away something that I had and just to keep trying when I said no the first time? So I think my biggest offense, since there's just no, it's kind of more like a fly that bites, kind of like, you're just trying to like swat it away. But then at the same time, you're like, you're really you implied that, which I think is kind of the most like, thing about it. And that's what bothers me the most about it too, is just the like disrespect for like a couple or people who are together,
Same. Angelique, I'm gonna go to you real fast and I'm gonna go.
Yeah, just it's like everybody's saying, it's the ultimate disrespect. I had a relationship prior to me moving to Florida where there was one person who I knew, just we were friends, and I watched them kind of go in and out of other people's relationships, and I thought, because of my situation being so extremely different from everybody else's, I kind of assumed that I wouldn't have to deal with that. But I was dating a young, handsome, mixed man at the time, and he hung out in the same crowd. And I just told him, I said, look, this person is not the kind of person you want to mess with, not the kind of person you want to fuck with. They ruin relationships for fun. Literally, this is what the person does. So I told my boyfriend that at the time. And so he continued to be friends and they hung out or whatever. And, true to form, that person targeted him and wanted to get with him and wanted to be with him. And I, at that point in time, I feel like it's 50-50. And unlike everybody's situation here, I did not come out of it on top. That person ended up getting to my boyfriend. They ended up sleeping together. And it became a whole thing in which when I found out, I went home, I packed all his shit and put him out on the side of the road. I didn't even tell him what I was doing. So, and it's an unforgivable thing for me. So if you're a friend or a family member and you cross that line knowing that I'm with someone, it doesn't matter if you can get them. It doesn't matter if they're interested in you. As that friend or family member, you owe it to me as a respect to not cross that line. So when you cross that line, there's no apology that you could ever give me that will ever take back that, because now I know that you're capable of it. And when given the opportunity, you will always take it. So you can't be trusted. And once you do that, I have every right to let everybody know the kind of person you are. You officially become some Hester shit. You got a scarlet letter from me. I don't want that. I will tell everybody your business. I'll air your dirty laundry as I please, because you made it my business when you stepped into my world and my life. So now my world and my life is to make sure everybody knows the kind of bullshit you pull in. And I don't pull punches. I say names. I say phone numbers. I leave addresses. I will tell them what your mama's name is. I don't give a shit. I tell them all your problems and your family problems because you made that mistake, because you did that with my world. So if my shit's in the street, so is yours. That's how I feel. And the last thing I need to know is to be the last one to find out. Because if I'm the last one to find out, then everybody's getting it. I don't care who's involved. I'm shooting everybody, bitch. We all going down. The whole ship is sinking. It's a motherfucking Titanic 2.0. Everybody's going down. There will be no survivors. I'm sorry to say this. And I won't even play the violin for your ass when it's going down. It's just, I'm just not doing it. I'm sorry.
Oh, Angelique struck a nerve that I didn't know I had right now. Yes, bitch, I'm rewatching that shit.
All right, really fast.
Every single fucking word. I will plagiarize that. Sean, go.
Thank you. Really fast. everything what the fuck Angelique said and fucking more. Because legit. Because, like, you know what? I don't have gay friends, like gay best friends. I only have one. His name's Matty Hickson. He knows who he is. He's out there watching. And we would never do that to each other. But let me tell you something. There are some bitches out here that, you know, a coworker that you're hanging out with, and then you just bring your boyfriend to the function, and all of a sudden that coworker's trying to talk to him. Hell no. Or like it's just, or a family member. Like I'm not straight, so if it was like my brother or whatever trying to hit on my girlfriend, it'd be some bullshit because I'm a Leo and I think loyalty is really important. So like we're loyal to each other. And what Angelique said, that the fact that you're going to get in between our relationship on purpose, yeah, everybody's going down. It's Armageddon. We ran out of time, everybody. We're out of time. I just want to give a big thank you to Power Infinity for joining us tonight.
Absolutely.
Thank you. You are scintillating, exciting, a powerhouse. You are Power Infinity. And to everyone else, thank you guys for joining us. We're all out. Have a good night, guys.
Okay, bye.